Okay, welcome to Python with Andrew, where we explore some of the fundamentals of Python. And in this video, we're going to look at dictionaries, but this time we're going to actually build an application or build a really small program to illustrate my example. And what we're going to do is look at using dictionaries as if to store a number of counters. So let's see how we go with this. I'm going to create this as we go along. So there might be lots of mistakes. We'll see how we go. Let me jump over. So we're going to use it counters. And what we're going to do is we are going to count the number of different words in this particular sentence. So you can see the sentence is probably 50 words long. So the idea is we're going to say, can we count the different words in the sentence? Now, we could use lists for counters or we could have 50 counters, counter the, counter this, counter is, all those sort of different variables. But a dictionary is really quite useful. And I'm going to call it counters, and I'm going to set it up to start with this. And they're all going to be set to 0. Don't worry, I'm not going to do them all. I'm just going to do a few. And that's the 0 and A. Right. 0. So let's assume that's my whole different sets of words. We're going to see a better way of doing this in a minute. And all I want to do now is I want to go through the sentence, and every time a word is in the dictionary, right, I'm going to increment the counter. Okay, so let's start. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to have a for loop to go through every word in the sentence. So I'm going to do for word in sentence. Now, sentence at the moment is a string, so we can't do that. We need to split the sentence up into a list, okay? And the dot split method, as we learned before, splits a string up into a list of words. So if the word is in the counters, in other words, if the word's in the dictionary, then I want to counters word plus equals 1. No, let me change that. Counter word. Okay. So if what we're doing there is every time we're going to check if the word is in the dictionary, in the counters. If it is, we are going to add 1 to that word. If it's not in there, we just ignore it, right? That's as simple as we do at the moment. So and then at the end, what we want to do is we're going to print our counters out. We'll just print the dictionary out, okay? So let's see what happens when we run this. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it'll work first time. Okay, so we can see that our counter, there's 1 with 1 of the words this, 1 is, and 3 A's, all right? And if you want, you can try and check that out, but it's pretty okay. So that's a nice, easy way of using counters. And whether if we added another one here, let's say about 0, right? If I run that now, we got 1 about, and that's it right there, okay? Now, I could continually add to this dictionary, but, of course, that would work for this sentence, and there's too many words certainly in English, let alone any other language we might write this in. So what I'm going to do is, if the word's not in the dictionary, I'm going to add it, and I'm going to add it with 1 because we found 1, all right? And then we know it's already there. So if the word is not there, I'm going to go counters word equal to 1. So what I'm saying is if the word is there, we add 1 to it. If it's not there, we add the word and say there's already, well, I found one. So that makes it a lot easier. Okay, so now if I print it, we would expect my list, or my counters list, to be a lot longer, because if I print it out now, as you can see, it's gone through, and every new word it is added into our dictionary. So that's a really good way of saying I'm going to use these counters, but I am going to, if you like, add to this dictionary. And in fact, if you think about it, I could start this with nothing, absolutely nothing in there, and it would still work, because I'm saying as soon as I find the word this and is, I just keep adding it to our list. And this also makes, this is a nice way of describing one other little feature about dictionaries. They are ordered. Older versions of Python dictionary was not ordered, but they are ordered. And we can see that because the word this is first, is second, a is then true. So it keeps going in an ordered fashion. And that's useful, and we'll use that later on. But this is a really good example where we are using a dictionary to use for counting elements of something, whether it's, in this case, a sentence or a list of words, but it could have been many, many other things. So a really useful technique. Of course, all I'm doing is adding 1 to the counter. We might do other things with the process when we found a word in the dictionary or not. But this is quite a nice little application. Hope you like that. If you do, feel free to subscribe to Python with Andrew, or share it with your friends or on your socials. That would be great. It would help me out immensely. Thank you.